If you can't squat all the way down without your heels lifting off the floor, you're at risk. Stand up now, feet shoulder width apart. Try to go down as far as you can. That point where your body stops is exactly what separates those who walk confidently after 70 from those who start to fear falling. And it has nothing to do with age. What determines whether you can go all the way down with control or get stuck halfway is the mobility of your ankles and your hips. The good news? This can change with a single movement practiced for just 2 minutes a day. In Japan, this movement is as common as brushing your teeth. People in their 80s and 90s squat all the way down and stand back up without support, not because they have special genetics, but because they never stopped training this pattern. Today, I'm going to show you how to regain it at your own pace with complete safety. Stay until the end, because in the last 2 minutes, I'll show you the mistake most people make that cancels out all the benefits of this exercise. Research published in 2024 reviewing 155 studies confirmed something Japanese physical therapists have known for decades. Mobility in the ankles, knees, and hips is essential for postural control. And when any of these joints lose range of motion, the risk of falling increases in a direct and measurable way. One specific study showed that ankle flexion, the ability to bring your foot toward your shin, is one of the most important factors for squat depth and safety. When the ankle is stiff, the heel lifts, the knee collapses inward, and the spine compensates by rounding. The entire body pays the price for one joint that stopped moving. And here's the harsh detail. Your ankle doesn't warn you when it's losing mobility. It just gets stiffer year after year of inactivity, until one day you realize you can't go downstairs without holding on, or that you're tripping on surfaces that used to be easy. The Japanese squat reverses this process, not because it's magic, but because it's the only movement that trains the ankle, knee, and hip at the same time in a closed chain using your own body weight as resistance. It's exactly what these 3 joints need to regain mobility and strength together. Level 1. Beginner. Supported squat. If you haven't squatted in years, or if you feel unsure about your balance, this is your version. And it's not a lesser version. It's the smart version that builds the foundation for everything that comes next. Place a sturdy chair or stand in front of a stable counter. Your hands lightly touch for support. Don't grip tightly. The support is there for safety, not to carry your weight. Feet shoulder width apart, toes slightly turned out, about 15 to 30 degrees. This angle isn't random. It respects your natural hip structure and allows your knees to track in the same direction as your toes without unnecessary strain. Now, inhaling slowly through your nose, begin to go down, pushing your knees outward in the direction of your toes while your hips move back and down. Your heels stay fully on the ground the entire time. This is non-negotiable. If your heels start to lift, stop there. That's your current limit, and respecting it is what will expand it over time. Go down as far as you can while keeping your heels grounded and your spine relatively upright. Hold that position for 10 seconds. Breathe normally. Don't hold your breath. Then come back up by pushing through your heels, exhaling on the way up. Do 5 repetitions, going down and holding for 10 seconds each time, once a day. Did you feel your ankles and hips working? Tell me in the comments how many seconds you held. That alone helps me understand where you are. Level 2. Intermediate. No support with deep pause. When level 1 starts to feel comfortable, when your heels stay fully down without effort and the 10 seconds feel easy, you're ready for this version. Same foot position. No support this time. Arms extended forward for balance. That's technique, not weakness. Any experienced athlete uses their arms to manage balance during a squat. As you inhale, go down slowly over a full 4 seconds, counting in your head. 1, 2, 3, 4. At the lowest point you can reach while keeping your heels down, pause completely. Relax your hips downward. Let gravity do part of the work. Breathe normally in that position. Take 3 full breaths before coming up. Then, exhale and rise in 3 seconds, actively engaging your glutes and thighs. The slow descent is what transforms this exercise. Research shows that eccentric work, the muscle control during the lowering phase, is responsible for most strength and flexibility gains. If you drop down fast, you're losing most of the benefit. Do 8 repetitions with a 3-breath pause each time, once a day. The mistake that cancels everything, and how to fix it. There's one mistake that shows up in almost everyone starting this exercise, and it turns a movement that should strengthen your knees into one that overloads them. The mistake is letting your knees collapse inward during the descent. This happens for 2 reasons: stiff ankles that don't allow proper dorsiflexion, or glutes that aren't active enough to maintain alignment. The result is a rotational force on the knee that shouldn't be there, and repeated over time, it leads to pain and wear. The correction is simple, but it requires awareness. As you go down, actively push your knees outward in the direction of your toes, not forward, outward. Imagine you're trying to spread the floor apart with your feet. This cue automatically activates your glutes and hip external rotators, aligning the entire movement properly. If your knees still collapse even with this correction, go back to level 1 with support for another week. The support allows you to focus fully on alignment without worrying about balance. The breathing that enhances everything. Here's something very few people know, and it makes a real difference in mobility. How you breathe at the bottom. When you're in the deepest squat position and you breathe by expanding your rib cage, especially into your back and sides, your diaphragm creates internal pressure that stabilizes your spine from the inside out without needing to consciously tighten anything. This is the same mechanism sumo wrestlers have used instinctively for centuries, and modern science has confirmed it as a core stability foundation. So when you reach the bottom, don't hold your breath, don't brace hard. Take a deep breath, feeling your ribs expand sideways. Exhale slowly through your nose before coming up. 3 breaths like this, and you'll feel your hips relax more with each exhale, allowing a slightly deeper position naturally. Complete routine, 2 minutes a day. Beginner, 5 reps with 10-second holds, with support, once a day. Intermediate, 8 reps with 3 breath pauses, no support, once a day. For both levels, go down slowly, keep heels on the ground, knees out, breathe at the bottom. In 2 weeks of consistent practice, you'll notice something specific. Walking feels lighter. Your steps feel more stable. Stairs require less effort, not because you suddenly got stronger, but because the joints that support every step regained the mobility they had been quietly losing over the years. Write in the comments which level you're starting with today and how many seconds you held on your first try. I read every message. If this helped you, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe, because there's something new here every week. See you in the next video.